All right. Philip here from Toon Tactics TV, giving you guys a pre-match preview of Newcastle's game with Luton at St James's Park this Saturday, which is today, as I'm recording it, early hours in the morning. Guys, I want to get right into this game. I made the gross mistake of possibly underestimating Luton in our previous game, and when we lost to them at their ground in Kenilworth Road. And so I took my time out, as you guys can see, in terms of studying Luton and understanding why they're so good. I'm going to go quickly into it. I am timing myself. I want to be able to do this within 10 minutes for you guys. And I've looked at a couple games, not seen them with the eye test, a lot of stat stuff, but a lot of understanding how Luton play and their average positions and where they're at. So what you guys can see on my screen right now is when Luton beat Brighton in their last game 4-0. This is at Kenilworth Road, and we know it's possible because we lost to them 3-0 there. A lot of New Luton's games, if you look through their record, guys, whenever they do lose, it's 2-1s. Most of them are 2-1s, 3-2s, 4-3s type of games. As far as I can see, they've only lost 3-1 to Aston Villa and 3-1 to Brentford. And I do look at that game as well. If we look here against Brighton, though, and I focus on their midfield, I think their midfield is their strength, in particularly Barkley, Lokonga, Adebayor. As you guys can see, this is a focus on their dribbles compared to Brighton. It's mainly obviously Barkley, Adebayor, who scored 3 goals in that game. Morris, and Clark actually, who take on the ball really, really well for them. The other, which gives them the ability to break on any team and take and cause damage on the other half. The other thing I wanted to focus on was tackles. Again, the focus of their tackling and where they're intercepting. Now, this is obviously dependent. Tackling is also dependent on where the team, I guess, chooses to attack you. We know that Brighton are really good at popping the ball about and love to go through the middle. They did that against us, and so. But the thing is, they went against Luton's key strength, which is their middle with Lokonga and Barkley. Barkley has been in sensational form, not just on what he does on the ball, but in terms of his dribbling, his carrying the ball, his shooting, his passing, his assisting. But he's off the ball. If you look at his heating map, I didn't have the time to look at it. He's absolutely all over the place. He's been immense for them. But Barkley, Lokonga, Doherty, and Clark, for instance, in this case against Brighton, were incredible off the ball, doing the majority of their tackles, and they broke on Brighton many times. I didn't see the game, guys. I'm just looking at the statistics, and they really took the game to Brighton. Similarly, I wanted to focus. This is not too dissimilar to what happened against Everton when they beat Everton at Everton's ground 2-1. There's a lot of dots here. I'm going to focus again on interceptions for Luton, again mainly towards the set. And I know this stuff again depends on where Everton chose to attack, and Everton just didn't seem to win the midfield battle in this game either. And the dribbles, which was again for Luton here in orange, was down their left side. I think that's Barkley's side. So you can see that when Luton's focus is on being able to, and in this game actually, if you look at the clearances, Luton had to defend quite a bit in this game, but they did so really, really well. And they made sure that they stayed solid at the back. Yes, they did conceded the 1 goal, but they also did really, really well in the defensive area of the field. So what that told me about Luton was that what's happening in their middle, they're keeping, especially at home, where the ground is a lot smaller, as we remember, their ground is a lot more smaller, and that's why they focus so much. And the play has to be a lot more condensed, and that's why they've focused so much on the middle of the park and being technical there. This only and being able to focus the play there, their tackling, their passing, their interceptions, their carrying of the ball through Barkley, that this has given them a lot of strength. A lot of quality. Yes, they're 17th in the league, but I think that's mainly down to quality rather than their tactics and what they're doing. So really, teams that go away to Luton, Arsenal, Chelsea, they all struggled. Arsenal just about beat them in the final minutes of the game. And so um, this is what, and so and it's because Luton are so good at Kenneth Watford especially, and they're so good at being off the ball and how they defend in the middle, but also on the ball and how they dribble and go forward. Now I'm looking at the game. So I looked at the game of their game against Luton's game against Brentford, and I wanted to focus on this, and this will lead me onto my tactics that I think Eddie Howe's going to employ when Brentford come to play at St James's Park. Now, as you guys can see here, this is Luton are so excuse me, Brentford are here in orange, and Luton on the side on the other side in the blue. Now, if you guys can see, for instance, so average player positions. This is the average player positions for Brentford in orange. Their average positions are far more wide, are far more expansive, whereas Luton, as again, are far more condensed in the middle, really condensed in the middle. So they're able to have that hold the center of the pitch to make sure they don't get broken down. So what did Everton do? Excuse me, what did Brentford do? Brentford did this. Brentford matched Luton in the middle of the circle in terms of where they attacked, but they also in terms of in what they did, but their main points of attack were on the left and on the right side. Brentford didn't allow themselves to necessarily be overmatched by Luton in the midfield like Brighton did. They made sure they fought. They took possession of the ball. If you can see, for instance, um, uh, there was a possession, midfield third. You can see in terms of action zones. So a lot of the play, that's the one I was looking for. Action zones. A lot of the action was focused in that middle area of the park. And that's what enabled Brentford to take control over this game. And what happened when they attacked? The focus is on the left and on the right side. Hence why you saw the average positions, as in earlier, become wider. So they took control over the midfield, I'm assuming through pressing, through passing, through interceptions, and through tackles. And then they would attack, focusing in on the wings. This brings me on to Newcastle, Luton coming to Newcastle, St James's Park. And Newcastle fresher, stronger, with more players that's going to be available to us as you guys. Oh, I didn't share my stream with you guys. Sorry. Here we go. I'm sure you guys can hopefully see this. So this is on SofaScore. Obviously, they're assuming that Isak is going to be not well enough to fit enough to play, even though Jason Tindall tried to insinuate they will play. This is what I think will happen, and this will be the front line. St James's Park, massive pitch. Newcastle, we absolutely love it. It plays to our advantage. What do we love to do? We love to play expansive, to be expansive, to stretch the play. Why? So we can run the opposition team in the ground. I expect Newcastle to be a lot more expansive, especially in the attacking third. However, we can't ignore the centre. And we'll do what I think we did against Villa. I think you're going to see Burn come up and support Bruno, invert and support Bruno, and that side tilt, and you might see Kieran Trippier go past Sean Longstaff and Murphy a lot, crossing the ball. You're going to see that kind of right-hand side really, really trying to overload on the right-hand side and take advantage over the numbers there, and a lot of attacks from the right. But also, it went there, and it'll be similar with Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, excuse me, Sven Botman. So Sven Botman, excuse me. So so Dan Burn will come in and support Bruno Guimaraes as he did before. Sven Botman will do that from time to time, but I think mainly Dan Burn will invert and protect Bruno, as well as Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär on occasions, allowing Newcastle to take a hold of the midfield, but then use Jacob Murphy and Miguel Almiron, who'll be playing on his favourite left side on his left foot, being able to cross the ball. I had to rush this, guys, but I believe in that Newcastle will win this game 3-0. I think we can keep a clean sheet, but that's my thoughts. I think it's going to be an incredible game. I think we'll win again. Let me know what you guys think. Take care and God bless.